Welcome back to Unifying Wisdom. I'm Chandra Mel, and I want to give a shout out to my two cats, Doom back here cleaning herself, and Shinobi back on my right, looking irritated. I have before me the CIA document from 1983 that was released in 2003, and I'm going to read like bits of it to give a little bit more information, since when I just try to talk about it right off the top of my head, it's like a freaking mess. So this was dated 9th of June, 1983. This was done by Commander Wayne M. McDonald, who was basically sent by the CIA to do the Gateway experience and then come back and report on it, because obviously the government wants to know if they can use it for, you know, their reasons. So, I'm going to give a little bit of information. Basically, how our minds tend to work. We have the right side of our brain, which is more of the creative side, the subconscious side. And we have the left side, which is the logical side, or also the conscious side. So I believe I've heard there's a certification that I'm working on right now, and it's about the universal laws, and the coach or teacher states that it is up till 7 years old that we do not really have a conscious. So anything that is said to you or happens around you just goes right in your brain, right into your subconscious, and sticks there. Then we start to build our conscious. The conscious acts as the filter to the subconscious. And the conscious is also the more logical part. So, left brain. So anytime you're getting information as an adult, that information has to go through the left side of the brain, which is the logical side, and that filters anything out that it considers woo-woo or incomprehensible or not realistic or not logical. And then whatever's left goes down to the subconscious or right side of the brain. Therefore, there's a lot of information that we are receiving, but our conscious mind, our left side of our mind, is filtering out and saying, no, doesn't work, not real, doesn't fit with our paradigm, blah, blah, blah. So as an example, if someone were to tell me, I'm a wealthy woman. No, I'm not. Now, if my left side of my brain allowed my right side of my brain to get that information, then I could start making changes to match that statement, because the subconscious would take it and believe it, because the subconscious believes everything it receives. A way around that, there's affirmations, because that's how we repeat, how we learn is repetition. So if you repeat affirmations, so if I were to say I am a wealthy woman as an affirmation, multiple times a day, every day, and then also, doing other things to help my conscious mind start to believe it, then it will start to be able to filter down to the subconscious and then be believable. So the Gateway experience uses a program called Hemi-Sync, which is short for hemisphere synchronicity, I believe it is. And the point is using frequencies and other suggestive things and pink noise and white noise to bring your brain into the hemispheres into synchronicity, into the same, or to synchronize, excuse me. So you're basically lowering your left hemisphere and raising your right hemisphere. I might have been saying brain and meaning hemisphere this whole time. Forgive me for that. I'm gonna mix up words. But basically, it's bringing one level lower and one level higher so that they are on the same playing field. And this actually makes it easier for you to take information in. So, give me 1 second here. So I'm going to read some information just straight off of the CIA document where he's explaining how it works. The Gateway Experience is a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output between the left and right hemispheres, so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical sphere. Woo! Yes, sorry. Moving it outside the physical sphere so as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. The participant then gains access to various levels of intuitive knowledge which the universe offers. So this is knowledge that if we were receiving it, our left hemisphere is just, it's negating it, saying, no, you're not coming in. We're filtering this out. It's not relevant to us. It's not real to us, blah, blah, blah. So, what differentiates the Gateway Experience from forms of meditation is its use of the Hemi-Sync technique, which is defined in a monograph by Monroe Institute trainer Melissa Jaeger, as, quote, a state of consciousness defined when the EEG patterns of both hemispheres are simultaneously equal in amplitude and frequency. So basically what I just said, but much more intelligently and, cohesively put. Although Hemi-Sync seems to be rather rare and of only short duration in ordinary human consciousness, Melissa Jaeger states that audio techniques developed by Bob Monroe can induce and sustain Hemi-Sync with the Institute's basic Focus 3 tapes. She also notes that studies conducted by Elmer and Alice Green at the Menninger Foundation have shown that a subject with 20 years of training in Zen meditation could consistently establish Hemi-Sync at will, sustaining it for over 15 minutes. Okay. So they also compare this experience to lamp versus laser. So when you consider the light source or the focus of energy of a lamp, it's almost like that's what our brain is doing all the time. It's just a lamp is putting its energy in all directions. A laser is hyper focused, very strong energy in one point. And Hemi-Sync is supposed to help your brain, train your brain from, in those moments when you reach that state, to go from lamp to laser. Okay, this is an interesting part. Frequency following response means that if a subject hears a sound produced at a frequency which emulates one of those associated with the operation of the human brain, the brain will try to mimic the same frequency pattern by adjusting its brainwave output. I was talking a little bit about this last video where you tend to match energies with what's around you. Therefore, if a subject is in a fully awake state but hears sound frequencies which approximates brainwave output at the theta level, the subject's brain will endeavor to alter its brainwave pattern from the normal beta to the theta level. Since the theta level is associated with sleep, the subject concerned may progress from a fully awake to a sleep state as the brain strives to train its wave frequency output with the one which the person hears. So Hemi-Sync must produce the sounds based on another phenomenon known as the brain's capacity for deducing beat frequencies. If the human brain is exposed to one frequency in the left ear, which is 10 hertz below another audible frequency played in the right ear, rather than hearing either of the two audible frequencies, the brain chooses to hear the difference between them, the beat frequency. The gateway system uses Hemi-Sync and other audio techniques employing the FFR phenomenon to introduce a variety of frequencies that are played at a virtually subliminal, marginally audible level. The objective is to relax the left hemisphere of the brain, as I was saying, place the physical body in a virtual sleep state, and bring the left and right hemispheres into coherence under conditions designed to promote the production of ever higher amplitude and frequency of brainwave output. So that's what I was just saying. They're bringing them level. My cat is mad because I have papers on his stool. Okay, so now I'm going to read a bit about the time-space dimension. Again, I'm just reading off the paper here. Up to this point, the discussion of the gateway process has been relatively simple and easy to follow. Now the fun begins, it says. Gateway involves more than just perception of those aspects of the universal hologram, which can be assessed in the dimension of the time-space as we know it. To explain how and why human consciousness can be brought to transcend the limitations of time-space is the next task which must be addressed. To do this, we must first appreciate what time and space are in order to understand how the dimension that they constitute can be transcended. Physicists define time as a measurement of energy or force in motion. In other words, it is a measurement of change. However, in order for energy to be in motion, it must first be limited in some way within the confines of some sort of vibratory pattern, so that its confinement gives it the capacity for being contained at a specific location, which is distinguishable from other locations, that being space. Where did the lines are very small, so I do lose my spot a lot. Where's space? Okay. Energy is not confined. Energy which is not confined is force without limit, without dimension, without the limits of form. It is infinity, cannot move because there is nothing beyond infinity, and is therefore outside of the dimension of time. It is also beyond space because that concept implies that a specific energy form is limited to a specific location and is absent from other locations. But if energy is in the state of infinity, there are no boundaries, no here to differentiate from there, no sense of area. Energy in infinity means energy uniformly extended without limit. It has no beginning, no end, no location. I should not look up from the paper. It is conscious force, the fundamental primal power of existence without form, a state of infinite being. Energy in infinity is said to be completely at rest and therefore cannot generate holograms so long as it remains utterly inactive. And holograms being basically our perception of reality, as I understood it. The holograms section, I understood a lot of this, and I was very impressed with myself. Not trying to pat my own back, but it's quantum physics that I was reading, and the hologram section was the one part that just I got lost in, and I haven't revisited it yet. Okay. Lost my spot again. Sorry. Okay. Being energy in infinity is said to be completely at rest and therefore cannot generate holograms so long as it remains utterly inactive, blah, blah, blah. It retains its inherent capacity for consciousness in that it can receive and passively perceive holograms generated by energy and motion out in the various dimensions which make up the created universe. Okay. It can perceive It can receive and passively perceive holograms generated by energy in motion in the various dimensions which make up the created universe. But it cannot be perceived by consciousness operating in the active universe. It can perceive us and other dimensions, but we cannot perceive it. Energy in the state of inactive infinity is termed by physicists and the material as energy in its absolute state, or simply the absolute. Between the absolute and the material universe in which we experience our physical existence are various intervening dimensions to which human consciousness in altered states of being may gain access. So I'm assuming like people who take shrooms, ayahuasca, other natural mind-altering substances have probably experienced these things. I mean, think about... see, that's the thing that fascinates me so much. I got so excited when I was reading this because fucking shamans and wizards and wise men and wise women and witches and all these people and like religious people and the people who are said to have been prophets or miracle workers or, you know, receiving messages from beyond. I mean, yeah, there are kooks out there and there are fucking liars out there. But there are also people who had these genuine experiences that some of them were mental illness. Of course, not calling those ones kooks, to clarify. But some people legitimately had that. And also just think about it too. Like, so what if we define your experience of perceiving or receiving messages from an alternate dimension or outside of our dimension or our reality as we know it, that is a real thing that happened. And yet we as a society, as a human race, have taken bits of information regarding that or surrounding that or just pertaining to that in any way and have concluded that that is a sign of mental illness. I'm not saying mental illness isn't real, but we as humans do put labels on things. And when you go back far enough, in a sense, we put a label on it. We decided that this was connected to that. But who really knows? I believe there are things about ourselves that we fully do not understand, and we've gone further and further away from understanding as we've gone to more synthetic ways of fixing problems, materialistic ways of fixing problems, away from natural ways of working on problems. Like when you think about so much physical illness is actually derived from it's your body telling you something is wrong. It could be stress. And a lot of things probably could just be pinned down to stress. It could be I just blanked. That's basically the symptomatic issue. Your body gives you symptoms to tell you, hey, something is wrong. Please figure it out and fix it. So there's a lot of things to do with mental illness, and I do believe that there's a good chance that maybe sometimes hallucinations or hearing voices. I mean, I'm not trying to take away from the struggle that people who experience that. I'm not trying to take away from their struggle. But when it comes down to it, that's a reality they're experiencing. So it is real. My question is, could it actually be something that isn't just in their mind, but is coming from somewhere else? I have a friend that I used to work with. This guy is so fucking chill. He used to live in Illinois, I think it's Chicago, and he had been in around some pretty dangerous places in his life. And it was actually, when I found that out, I was pretty shocked. I was like, you are so relaxed. You are so laid back. And this guy like just didn't get angry, and he was just funny as hell. Good guy. Love being around him. He told me one time randomly about how when he was a kid, he was like, Shinobi, can you not here, sweetie, come on. When he was a kid, he used to see, like 7 years old, he used to see like the Grim Reaper. And that shit scared the hell out of him. And it wasn't like sleep paralysis. He would see this Grim Reaper, I believe that's what he said it was, or a Grim Reaper looking character, just randomly throughout the day. And his parents or mom took him to the doctor, and like he was getting evaluated, and they decided, well, he must be words escape me. I'm sure you know what word I'm thinking of. It's a mental illness where they hear and see things, and it's a lifelong illness. And this word's gonna come to me in like 20 minutes. But you know what I'm talking about. It's a mental illness where you hear and see things. And they decided, well, this must be the case. Because obviously there's no Grim Reaper walking around. And we can't figure out what else this is. There's no like physical health issues that we're seeing. Would you stop staring at me? Thank you. What is that fucking word? Shinobi! That's driving me crazy. I know the word, and it's just escaping me right now. And I'm recording on my phone, so I don't want to look it up. Anyways, okay, I gotta get back into it. So he told me that. And then just after some amount of time, he just stopped seeing these images. Not images. He stopped seeing this being. And I said, what did the doctor say? And he said they didn't know. I said, well, obviously you don't have that mental illness, because that mental illness is supposed to be lifelong. Like once you have it, you have it. It doesn't just go away. It's not a fucking cold. So that to me was so fascinating, terrifying. And I'm glad he doesn't still see that figure. But with all the different dimensions and lines of outside of our reality, I believe, and this is not a person where I really felt like he was just making it up. I didn't feel like he was full of shit by any means. And I'm not just going to take a story by someone like that and just take their word for it. Unless I really do feel that they're being honest. And I truly felt that he was lying. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm very interested in that. So I'm really excited. I'll try to continue a little bit more information because there's so much packed into this document. And reading it out loud also helps to, you know, take it in another way. So thanks for joining me. My name is Chandra Mel, and this is Unifying Wisdom, and I'm super excited to be learning with you guys today, and I can't wait for the next one. Thanks.